Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. I'm Felipe Hoffa. I'm live. I'm a Snowflake developer advocate. And we are here to talk today with Federico Zoufaly and Kuo Lun Lo. We have a very interesting conversation coming on. Federico, Kuo, how are you? And are you ready for this?
Yes, ready.
Ready. Where are
Yes.
you in the world?
We're actually both in San Jose, Costa Rica. And
Uh-huh.
yes, we've been part of Snowflake for over a year and a half right now. And before then, we were part of a Snowflake partner uh, and working with Snowflake for the last 4 years. So,
Wow. That's a pretty cool story because you are in Costa Rica. Snowflake has an office in Costa Rica. You get to work there, and we're going to learn a lot about SnowConvert today. These are
and
the
not
links
only
I
that,
have.
sorry
Ah,
to interrupt you, but not only that, and at the Costa Rican office, we're actually hiring. So, I mean, if you're interested, just send us a note.
that's a pretty cool thing. You get to work for Snowflake and live in Costa Rica, pura vida. Seems like a great, great deal. And if people have any questions about this, we're live. So you can ask anything you want, and we will do our best to answer your questions. And I see we have more than 100 people watching right now. Hopefully, the number will increase. Sometimes LinkedIn doesn't send us your messages. I don't know why, but if LinkedIn doesn't work to send us your questions, you can also go to our YouTube link. That's where we're streaming this right now too. So we're going to talk about SnowConvert, RDBMS, Migration Accelerator. I opened some links already. Like, for example, we have this course, SnowConvert for developers, that has content like how to outline the steps of a successful migration, identify code migration steps that can be automated with SnowConvert, the topic of today. How do you prepare the input for today for SnowConvert? How do you read the output? How do you do some troubleshooting? How do you deploy? And we're going to go deep into this with Federico and Kuo. And of course, we also have the Snowflake SnowConvert documentation. But that's just my intro. Federico and Zoufaly, tell me a little more about SnowConvert.
As I said, we've been developing and using SnowConvert over the past 5 years, and we've used it to accelerate a lot of very large and very small migrations to Snowflake. I can give you some initial statistics. Like, for example, we've migrated over 1.7 billion lines of code using SnowConvert, which includes something like 45 million database objects. When I talk about database objects, it's tables, it's views, it's stored procedures, it's external scripts that are typically run very close to the database that also need to be migrated. So, I mean, we've been using this quite a bit, and every day we're adding new functionality and we're getting feedback from the people that are actually using it, and it's a constant improvement. And also, keeping up to date with all of the new Snowflake features is always interesting. So, that has been a great journey over the past 4 or 5 years, and over the past year and a half, as part of Snowflake itself.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that you start doing manual conversions, like someone is migrating from Teradata or from Oracle or from SQL Server, and you're doing a manual migration. But the more you do, the more you learn, and the more you encode in a tool like SnowConvert.
Exactly. And so we're always trying to stay updated with the evolution of both, the source platforms and Snowflake, and also, that programmers can be very creative, and so, every now and then we find a pattern that we did not consider, when doing the migration. But we keep improving and including more and more patterns.
Yeah, and you're not migrating just the SQL, also store procedures. How deep does this conversion go?
So typically what we say is that we migrate the database part, right? And so in the database, you have all of the typical database objects like tables and views, but also stored procedures and functions. Those are maybe the more interesting objects, to be migrated. And we always try to take an approach where SnowConvert needs to understand the whole context of the migration. So understand all of the tables, all of the views, all of the stored procedures, so that it can make the right inferences between whenever, for example, there is a database name change or a data type change between platforms. I know that that data type, that specific column has a new data type, and so when I convert the store procedures, I take that into consideration, and so that the migration is always as best as it can be. And um, and and yes, I mean, so it's important that SnowConvert, um, you know, fits as one step into the migration journey from legacy databases into Snowflake. And Felipe, maybe you can share one slide that we prepared that actually has
Excellent.
the migration process to Snowflake.
Yes, because
Where
I know that Kuo has a demo coming for us to show how SnowConvert actually works. But speaking of context, let's look at where SnowConvert fits in this, like in a conversion process. Here
Excellent.
it is.
Thank you. And here you can see that SnowConvert is the database code conversion. So all of the DDL, but also the DML, right? I mean, a lot of times we've seen customers, and especially on the business user side, that they have their own queries that are very specific, and that, for example, are queries written for Teradata. Also, those queries can be converted using SnowConvert, so that now they have the Snowflake syntax. So it doesn't only accelerate the conversion of the database schema itself, but it also helps the business users with you know the conversion of their own queries. But when you look at where SnowConvert plays into the big picture of a migration, of course you always have a planning and design phase, and this is very important because, I mean, you have what you are completely changing platforms, and the target platform Snowflake is not the same as the original platform. So it is important that everybody understands the differences of the platforms and all of the advantages of being on Snowflake once you have eliminated the source platform. But you know, don't underestimate the planning. I mean, you have to be
Yeah.
on the same page inside your company before you attempt the migration. And
Yeah,
then,
just as a context, because you refer to it, uh, we are going to follow all these steps because people see real value in migrating from their current solution. Keep it, people keep migrating to Snowflake, and following these steps will give them, going through this whole effort will give them a big reward.
uh, uh, absolutely, and we hear it constantly from customers that have migrated, especially on the business user side. They say, "Wow, before I had to wait for 4 hours for my report, and now I can just get it whenever I want." Right? Those type of things. The fact that there are no resource constraints in Snowflake is just that is a big advantage. And then as I always say, if you can really consolidate all or at least most of your data onto one platform, then is when the magic happens, right? Because, I mean, we always say that there is no AI strategy without a data strategy, and you have to have the basis, uh, ready before you can actually do a lot of the nice stuff that you can do today, using artificial intelligence and other things. So,
Yeah,
this migration process really helps you consolidate your data assets onto our platform.
sounds awesome. Someone really, we convince people that they will find all these benefits, but now they ask, hey, what do I do with all the code I already have? And we start this path.
Exactly. And so, I mean, we're always trying to accelerate as much as possible the process of migrating from legacy to that. But this diagram shows you that there's more than just the code, right? I mean, you also have to migrate the environment, the security. You have to migrate the data. You also have to migrate, all of the ingestions and all of the BI, right? All of that are things that are part of the migration process. And at Snowflake, we have not only SnowConvert, but we also have a whole professional services team that has done many, many migrations that can also help you in this journey. And of course, many partners that work with us day in and day out that can also help in this process.
Beautiful. So it's planning and design, uh, planning, then the environment security, super important security. Then comes the database code conversion. That's our focus for today. but you also have to migrate data ingestion for the rest of your life, reporting analytics, data validation and testing, deployment, and then optimize and run. But database code conversion is where we reuse the assets that the company already has. Let's talk about it. Where would you like to focus next?
Well, I think that maybe we should go into the demo,
Demo mode.
and I think that's the most interesting part of this whole presentation.
Are you ready, Kuo? ¿Estás listo,
Yes,
amigo?
estoy
Let's do
listo.
it.
Okay,
Let's take a look at your screen.
okay, let's share my screen.
Mhm.
Can you see my screen?
We can see it now. We have VS Code.
Great. Okay. So, hello everyone.
And you can click on hide if you want to get that back off your screen. Excellent.
Yeah.
Now,
Thank you. Thank you. So, hello everyone. In this demo, what we are going to show you is about a code conversion of this is an Oracle source. So, in here you can see 3 tables. Here, this is an airport table, travel class table, and other table with some data types here that we want to showcase how SnowConvert will migrate these data types. We also have...
I have to say, just because if you don't mind me interrupting, can we look at the previous file?
Yes, of course.
Yes. So it's interesting that this table has constraints, primary keys, and even an interval type, which is I'm wondering how you're going to migrate.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a secret. Let's see next what will SnowConvert migrate to this. Okay.
Excellent.
But yeah, thank you. So here we are going to see like how SnowConvert translate the table and the data types, the constraints, and also the primary keys and these complex data types, as well as I wanted to show you the materialized view. So, and this is also a very interesting feature that we launched previously, where we are translating this to a dynamic table, because this is querying from multiple sources, and there is a usage of a very complex pattern in Oracle, which is, as you can see here, you don't see any join syntax here, but this plus sign, this is an outer join syntax. It's a very Oracle-specific syntax. And we'll see how SnowConvert will translate this also in the demo. And here we have a procedure that has a cursor declaration. And this is another beautiful pattern that we want to show, where it is using a bulk collect into plus a for all. So what this is doing is that it will iterate one by one, and with all the rows, it will insert one by one to this table, validation results table. So
I love it. So this is, you have not set up an easy scenario, and I have to say, we are live, people are watching. Kuo Lun Lo, founder of Orchestra, is watching, and he says this is cool. And Hugo is super opinionated. He writes great blog posts, and when he finds something cool, this is a great incentive to keep going deeper. Cool.
Great. So I just want to make a comment that this code has been extracted from our recommended extraction script. And so this is why you will see these tags. If you identify this, you can figure out that this was extracted by our recommended extraction script. And if you want to download and use the extraction script, and you can go to our documentation page, and you can click on Getting Started. Here in the Best Practices page, you can get your extraction script. So the extraction script will connect to the database and to extract the DDL code. And after it extract the code, you will see something like this. So now let's open SnowConvert. SnowConvert is a standalone application for Mac and for Windows. So this, let's start here to do our assessment, our free assessment and free tables conversion. So first, let's click on New Project. We have to give our project a name. Let's say Oracle Sample. And we have to select a source language. In this case, we are showcasing Oracle. So let's click on Oracle. We have to select an input folder path. If I click browse here, and there is already selected, and just click on open, the output folder path will be automatically filled, and we'll have to enter an access code. And in this case, I have already previously installed here, but okay, SnowConvert is free assessment, it is distributed free. So if you want to get your assessment access code, you can click here, and once you fill up all the information in your email address, and once you submit the form, you will get an assessment access code delivered at your inbox, and then you just have to copy the code and paste here, and it is all.
So this is free, but we want a relationship with people that use the tool. And this step is totally free.
Yes, correct. It's totally free. Okay, so let's click on Start Assessment. So now SnowConvert is doing his job, right? He's doing his magic. It starts parsing the code. It starts loading the code into AEST, an abstract syntax tree. And once it is loaded, and it starts filling the semantic information and start loading the set of translation rules, and it starts doing his traversal over the tree, and finally you will get the analysis completed. So when I click on view results, so here, this is a screen that will tell us how SnowConvert did the conversion. So SnowConvert not only converts your code, and it also do a lot of things that provide you information telling you how you can complete your last mile migration, how you can plan your last mile migration. For example, in this screen, you will have information about how complete you have provided your input code. Everything less than 100% means that SnowConvert identified a missing object in the code, and so if there is a lower percentage, SnowConvert may not perform that well when doing some decisions when translating the code. Here we have also a summary of the overall migration, and also here some details about the excluded scopes. So we exclude some of the objects out of our translation, such as triggers and database link and so on. And here we have a summary of what are the code units that we identify during this assessment and this code conversion. For example, in this case, SnowConvert identified one create materialize view, one procedure, and 3 tables. And it also tells us the lines of code and also the conversion percentage here. And as additional information, SnowConvert also provides you a lot of reports that can help you plan how to complete that last mile migration. For example, the issues report is the list of issues that SnowConvert detected, and if once you fix all the issues here enumerated in this report, you will be able to deploy your code and to get a fully functional equivalency of your code conversion. And we also provide basic lineage information. These 2 reports will tell us the references between one table to another, or who points to who, views point to table, everything. And top-level code unit report is a report that will tell us the tables, views, and procedures identified during the migration, the lines of code of each corresponding code unit, and also the errors or issues associated with each of these code units. So again, SnowConvert not only do code conversion, but it will provide you a lot of information for you to plan and to complete your last journey. And now, so the best part of this demo is the code, right? So I want to select the tables here, select for compare, and let's click on DDL's table. This is the converted code. Compare with selected. So let's see here. So you can see that SnowConvert translated this entire create table to Snowflake syntax create table. It is also adding some additional information here that you can check later. And let's take a look, for example, this other table. It is translating the interval, right, to a varchar of 20s of size. And the JSON data type is translated to variant. And so it not only translate like the data type directly to the varchar 20, but it will also go and take a look on all the views and procedures that is referencing to this column 1, and it will apply the transformations to let the code behave as same as the Oracle's behavior.
I have a question. What's an EWI? EWI?
Okay,
EWI?
okay.
What's the meaning of those three letters?
Nice question. So EWI stands for errors, warnings, and issues. So it's just a common way that we summarize that I have previously said that here we have the list of EWIs or issues, and once you fix all the issues, and you can get your tables deployed. So for example, you can see there is an EWI. For all the EWIs, we are adding like, how can I say this? This is a syntactically incorrect code. So what we want is to make users to, hey, take a look on this, because we want you to take a look on this, and we want you to review if you think this is the correct translation that SnowConvert accelerated for you.
And something that is important was what Kuo was saying is that, for example, we convert this interval to a varchar, and then all of the usages of that column, now we know that it's a varchar, and so we actually have some user-defined functions to treat the varchar as if it were an interval, right? So that the translation now behaves in the same way at the end. But if you do not provide all of the context to SnowConvert, and this is why it's so important to look at all the dependencies and make sure that all of the dependencies are included. Otherwise, I can change this to a varchar, but if the procedure that actually uses this column is not converted, then the conversion of that procedure alone is not going to be as good, right? So it's important to migrate everything at the same time.
I see. And I like also to see that this is also feedback for Snowflake. Like, we've been migrating customers for a long time, and Snowflake could decide to make an interval type, or Snowflake could decide, you know what, we keep doing these migrations and we always find a better path for it. But people need to pay attention to this specific type.
Right.
Yes, for example, another interesting data type is Teradata's period data type that we also translated to varchar 26 to emulate the behavior of Teradata's period data type. So, okay, everything good now? Okay, yeah. I will continue.
I have one comment.
Yes.
Ramashish was asking for more help, and Fernando is here present with us and sending us a link to the SnowConvert training for anyone that wants to go deeper. Gracias, Fernando.
Great, thank you, cool. Fernando. Okay, so I think you are all curious about how SnowConvert translates to the procedure and the materialized view. So if I click on procedure, oh no, why it is showing like the obfuscated code, right? And also the materialized view is showing obfuscated code. So again, and this is because SnowConvert and the free is providing you a free assessment and tables conversion. And if you want to get the procedures code converted in your materialized view, and also the views, the packages, and the macros and functions, if you want to get those other DDLs converted, you have to contact to Snowflake Professional Services and to engage with us, and then you get the full capability of the SnowConvert, a conversion access code, and then you will be able to migrate. this
So,
code.
so you get the assessment for free, you get the table for free, but then we want a relationship with the professional services team to complete this migration together.
And it's mostly to make sure that sometimes SnowConvert is deceptively simple. And maybe Kuo, you can start the actual migration while I explain this. It's deceptively simple because as you saw, you pointed to a directory and an input and output, and then it generates some code, right? But and in fact, SnowConvert performs a lot of the heavy lifting of the code conversion, but there's still a small percentage of lines of code that need to be manually touched. And so we put a lot of emphasis into generating the reports, to help customers, understand what is not done and by SnowConvert, and then we also make sure that the professional services team is there to support you in your journey, because it seems simple, but it's a little bit more complicated than it looks, and so we want to make sure that you're successful, and this is why we want an engagement with you.
Yes,
So,
two quick questions one from Nimesh. What about redesign versus lift and shift from the best practices perspective?
So that is a good question. But Kuo, do you want to
Yeah.
do the migration while I answer this question, so that we
Yes.
know that we're running a little bit out of time? So the advantage of lift and shift is that it allows you to get to Snowflake sooner, right? So it allows customers to enjoy the benefits of Snowflake sooner rather than later, right? The re-engineering requires a lot of additional understanding of the source code that sometimes was written 10, 15, 20 years ago by people that no longer work with the company, and so that re-engineering process is much more complex and much more and it's going to take a lot more time. Also, if you're doing lift and shift, then the testing of the converted code is easier, because it should essentially be the same results. If you're doing a re-engineering, then the results may change. You're changing the data model, and so the actual compare between source and target systems is not the same. However, sometimes re-engineering is what is needed, because the business requires a different data model, right? And so the migration is also a good opportunity to do that. But in general, what I've seen is that customers have these data models that are currently working, and they're providing business value. And so, yes, it's tempting to re-engineer, but lift and shift is actually an easier way
Exactly. And I love how this assessment will give you extra information. Like very quickly, you will know, okay, one important data point to make that choice. And another quick question from Samir: what about SaaS?
Yeah, SaaS. We are getting some questions about SaaS, and there are some partners that are working with us that actually have solutions for SaaS. And so please contact us, and we can discuss details. Currently, SnowConvert supports Oracle, Teradata, and SQL Server, and we're looking at additional platforms, but we're not there yet.
Good. But there are partners that can do it. And while we were talking, Kuo went for the last step, the conversion and execution. Excellent.
Yeah. So thank you all for the question. So I just converted my code. I adjusted some settings. I wanted my DDLs to be under hello world schema, and I converted the code. And let's click on view results. So this screen is basically the same that I showed previously. So let's take a look on the procedure. So this is the original procedure, right? And let's click on this DDL procedure. So here, and this may also answer the previous question, is what about the re-engineering? So basically, SnowConvert also did some sort of re-engineering your source code to be like more efficient and more simple in Snowflake syntax. For example, SnowConvert detected that this is a bow collect plus for all pattern, and it started collecting all the informations, and it loaded the translation rules to translate from this code pattern to as simply as an insert into, and it take this select query here, and it just put it here. And also, SnowConvert detected that, okay, it only requires the 2 columns, right? The validation ID and the messages, and it also did that work for you. Everything automatically. So
Thank you for the
this,
performance gain.
yeah, a huge performance gain also here. So this is a very beautiful example, and I would like to show you the second one, which is the materialized view. And this is the last one that you can see here, that we are translating the materialized view to something that is recently go on GA, the dynamic table, and we translated from materialized view to dynamic table. We added some default values here, and we also translated the outer join pattern. This is very specific or Oracle syntax, and it translated this complex pattern into as simply as a cross join plus a left outer join. So if you have just one view, one query with this syntax, it is very easy to maybe to migrate manually. But imagine if you have thousands of these queries using this Oracle syntax, SnowConvert may be the best fit here to let SnowConvert automate and accelerate all the code conversion for you. So to summarize, we did first the free assessment and free tables conversion, and this second part is about the full capability that you will get after you have an engagement with professional services.
I love to see how much knowledge is encoded in this tool and how it keeps improving and how it keeps being up to date with the latest Snowflake features. Oh, and we have people asking, what about more sources? BigQuery, Redshift, SAP, HANA, Diego and Sham Nawaz are asking about that. And I think it's a similar answer. We're deciding what tools to support next, but we have also other great partners that can help with that. And yes, migrate to Snowflake. Beautiful.
Yes.
As we close the stream today, what do you want people to remember, Federico? Kuo?
Oh, I want to remember that, first of all, that it's worth it to migrate to Snowflake, right? But also the migration is a little bit of a disruptive project, especially for the IT organization. And so you have to do it carefully. Start with very good planning, make sure that you have the right testing, make sure that you have the buy-in from both IT and the business users before you start the migration. But having said that, SnowConvert can really accelerate your journey. And this is what we want to say about SnowConvert. SnowConvert is an accelerator, right? So again, as Kuo was saying, if you have a couple of tables, you can do them by hand or whatever. But the migrations that we're seeing, we just recently finished a migration that had 45,000 tables. So when you have 45,000 tables, doing them by hand is not the right way, right? You need automation to make sure that you can accelerate your process. So that is my takeaway. You please go take the training, download SnowConvert, start running assessments, and engage with us. We're here to answer questions.
Yes. What would you like them to remember, Kuo?
I just wanted to say happy code conversion. Enjoy accelerating your code with SnowConvert.
We love making people happy. And while you were talking, I went to research what openings we have in Costa Rica, and we are looking for senior software developer and technical support manager. So anyone that has dreamed of living or joining Snowflake and working from Costa Rica, hey, they could be your teammates. So that's an awesome opportunity. Thank you everyone for watching. I'm looking if we have new questions. As always, sometimes LinkedIn sends us the message. Sometimes they get into that no. But I see Alejandro Zapata say that this was a great demo. So thank you everyone. It was a great demo. I love seeing smart tools. I love making people happy. I love making it easier path to Snowflake. So gracias Federico, gracias Kuo, and thank you everyone for watching. It's time to bring the bird to play with us.
Gracias, Felipe.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.